Good evening, hello and welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Anusha Soni. Over 130 people, which includes women and children, have lost their lives in a man-made disaster. Yesterday evening, the entire country saw the chilling visuals of an overloaded suspension bridge collapsing, plunging hundreds into the river below. Now, the bridge was earlier closed for repair and restoration work, but was opened in a hurry by the contractors without any fitness clearance certificate by the authorities. Now, an FIR has been registered, 9 people have been arrested, compensation given. But questions are being raised over the laxity of the local administration and the alleged collusion with the private contractors. Beyond politics, this is a story of hundreds of families losing their loved ones. They need answers. Who's responsible? Will the owners of the private company responsible for the repair works be arrested? Will the big fish once again be able to evade the due process of law and justice? And for the families who have lost their loved ones, will this be yet another long, tardy legal battle? Our top focus on brass tacks tonight. First up, a special report.
Six seconds of hell that left more than 130 people dead. This is the moment when an overcrowded suspension bridge collapsed in Gujarat's Morbi. The cables of the bridge snapped, plunging hundreds into the Machu River.
It is a responsibility of a company to use good products, and if already cables are corroded, then get the corroded cables replaced with the new ones. But that did not happen.
The bridge had been renovated and reopened just 5 days ago on the 26th of October. But on Sunday, there was massive footfall due to Chhath Puja.
प्रशासन अपनी ओर से सारा काम कर रहा है, लेकिन मैं अभी जहां पर हूं, ये जो गली आप देख रहे हैं, ये जो एरिया देख रहे हैं, अभी सुनसान हो गया है क्योंकि इसी गली के 2 बच्चे थे, 2 युवा जो लड़के थे, उन्होंने अपनी जान गंवा दी है.
In March this year, the bridge was closed to the public and Ahmedabad-based Oreva Group carried out the repair and renovation work. But despite the contract clearly stating that the bridge will be closed for 8 to 12 months, Oreva opened it back for the public 5 months in advance on the Gujarati New Year.
हमने आज 9 लोगों को कोविड टेस्ट कराने के बाद इनको अरेस्ट किया गया है. इसमें जैसे जैसे इसका नाम खुलता जाएगा, पुलिस उसकी धरपकड़ करती जाएगी और किसी भी व्यक्ति को किसी भी कंडीशन में छोड़ने का पुलिस का कोई इरादा नहीं है.
What's worse is that no fitness certificate was taken before reopening the bridge. Yet the company or its management have not been named in the FIR.
ओरेवा ग्रुप का कोई भी मालिक और जो एम्प्लॉय है वो सामने नहीं आया है. इतनी बड़ी दुर्घटना के बाद उसने दुख भी व्यक्त नहीं किया है, लेकिन पुलिस एक्शन में है. अभी जो 8 लोगों के अरेस्ट किया है, उसके बाद उसकी पूछपरछ होगी और जो भी जिम्मेदार होंगे उसके पर एक्शन लिया जाएगा.
On the day of the tragedy, tickets were sold to more than 600 people at a mere 17 rupees per person. And there was no sign of any crowd management.
पुल टूटा हुआ देखा हमने 2 आदमी ने. एक मेरा दोस्त था कईणू भाई करके, दोनों साथ में वहाँ से आए अंदर और जितना आदमी बचा सकते थे उतना बचा है.
ओवर पीपल जो मतलब वो ट्रैवलिंग किया है ब्रिज के ऊपर, उसकी वजह से शायद लग रहा है कि उसकी वजह से ये जो हादसा हुआ है वो हुआ.
मैं 7 बजे से नदी में था और मेरे खुद ने एनडीआरएफ की मदद के साथ मैंने 40-35 लाश निकाली, बच्चों की, बड़े की, सबकी.
Prime Minister Modi, who is set to visit Morbi on Tuesday, paid condolences to the families of the victims.
કાલે મોરબીમાં આ ભયંકર પીડાદાયક मन बहुत व्यथित.
As the dust settles on the Morbi bridge collapse, many questions remain unanswered. Why was the bridge reopened ahead of time and without any fitness certificate? Why was the bridge overcrowded and safety overlooked? And who is responsible for this man-made tragedy?
Now, ahead of his visit to Morbi tomorrow, Prime Minister is all set to chair a very high-level meeting to review the situation on the ground. He was briefed on the rescue and relief operation. Prime Minister has also emphasized on ensuring that those affected get all the possible assistance. The high-level meeting was attended by Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, MOS Home, the Chief Secretary and DGP of Gujarat. So that very crucial meeting that was chaired by the Prime Minister to take stock of the entire situation. Our political editor Maria Shakil with us on the broadcast to give us more details. Maria, tell us what transpired in this meeting, what to expect tomorrow.
Yes, so the meeting was held in Gandhinagar because the Prime Minister is in Gandhinagar because earlier today he had a series of meetings and public events. All those were cancelled because of the tragedy in Morbi, and he will be visiting Morbi tomorrow. And over the last 24 hours, ever since the first news came in from Morbi of this tragedy, the Prime Minister has been constantly in touch with the Chief Minister of Gujarat, that is Bhupendra Patel, in touch with other officials, ensuring that the disaster management and the relief operation is carried out on a war footing. Because he has that understanding of how the situation and the ground is in Morbi, so there were inputs that were shared by him with the officers, and officials also shared what the developments have been. Because of that, we have seen the rescue operation happen through the night. The SDRF and NDRF has been involved extensively. Now the big challenge is of relief, and tomorrow when the Prime Minister visits, perhaps that message that is given of empathy of the head of the government being with the people of Morbi in this hour of tragedy will be communicated when the Prime Minister actually reaches Morbi earlier tomorrow.
All right, and not to forget, as Maria is also pointing out, a special bond that the Prime Minister has had. He's been a multiple times Chief Minister of the state, and of course he also said that this is a very unfortunate incident. Maria, yes, the rescue and relief operations happened at a great pace, and most of the people on the ground are reporting that the help reached as soon as possible. So all eyes on that very crucial visit. What exactly to expect? All eyes on that very crucial visit of the Prime Minister. I'm throwing open this question to our guests as well who are joining us on the broadcast. Charu Pragya, the national spokesperson of the BJP, Rohan Gupta, who's the spokesperson of the Congress Party, Prashant Gadavi, who's a political analyst, KK Manan, who's a senior advocate at the Supreme Court, and Bharat Sakatia, who's an activist and eyewitness. All the guests are with us on the broadcast. Who is responsible for this strategy? How exactly we can move forward and ensure that each person who suffered in this tragedy gets justice. भरत भाई सगाटिया, सबसे पहले मैं आपके पास आऊंगी. आपने पहले भी हमसे बातचीत की और बताया कि उस दिन क्या हुआ था. इस समय हमारे साथ टेलीविजन पर बीजेपी, कांग्रेस, वरिष्ठ नेता, वकील, बहुत सारे लोग मौजूद हैं. भरत भाई, एक बार मैं फिर से आपसे विनती करूंगी कि आप हमें बताइए उस दिन, उस शाम को क्या हुआ, कैसे ये पूरा हादसा हुआ. और आपने पहले भी बताया था कि आपने खुद ने अपने परिवार का एक सदस्य खोया है.
ठीक है, मेरा सदस्य खोया, मैं तस्वीर दिखाता हूँ जो 18 साल का बच्चा है.
जी भरत भाई बोलिए, हमें आवाज आ रही है आपकी. All right, there's a problem with that connection. I'll try and fix that line. And meanwhile, I want to go to Charu Pragya of the BJP, who is with us on the broadcast. Charu, coming to you. I'm glad there is no petty politics which is happening over this entire issue. But we need answers, we need accountability. People, over 130 families have lost their loved ones, and you would know the number of children who have lost their lives. This is a classic case of maladministration at the local level, misadministration at the local level. How will we ensure that the culprits are nabbed?
Anusha, I would like to begin by expressing my prayers for everyone who's lost a loved one in this extremely tragic, horrific accident. The visuals are so difficult for me to see, and I cannot stress enough how painful this has been for everyone in the administration, in the government, both at the state level, at the central level. It is important to note that in this particular case, our Prime Minister has been monitoring the rescue operations and everything else personally round the clock. But there is also an issue which has been worrisome. There are videos, there are eyewitness accounts which have surfaced over the last one day, which show purposeful shaking of the bridge. And these videos.
No, but Charu, I would like to tell you one thing. Bharat Bhai was with us earlier at the 6 p.m. show as well. He's one of the locals and he clarified on the broadcast कि ये जो पूरा ब्रिज था एक तरीके का झूला था, तो अक्सर लोग जब इस पर चढ़ते थे तो उसको जोर से हिला दिया करते थे. अब उसमें कोई कंस्पिरेसी देखना, I don't know how valid that argument is, Charu.
Yeah, and I hope that you're right, Anusha. I in fact pray that you are right. But at the same time, when I see these visuals, it didn't look like a bunch of people having fun with a suspension bridge. It looked like an organized group of 8 people, 9 people, devotedly shaking it up continuously till it collapsed. And I have seen many videos and I have heard many eyewitness accounts, both on the internet and on the news. At the same time, I pray and I hope that I'm wrong, but we have to leave this to the investigative agencies. We will have to leave this to the cops. 9 people have already been arrested in this particular case. This is an eye-opener for everybody involved that we have to be extra vigilant when it comes to any infrastructure which could damage or
but here are some pointed questions, Charu. Yes, finish your point.
One more
Finish your
thing,
point.
Anusha.
Yeah.
Naresh Balian, MLA of the Aam Aadmi Party, tweeted something very cryptic yesterday. He said BJP ko tagda jhatka lagega. There was another tweet of another Aam Aadmi Party person which said BJP ki kabre khodi jayengi. All of this, and then coming on to the next day and this horrific accident where we've lost more children than in any other accident in our country. For me to get over all these coincidences of the bridge shaking, of a coincidental Aam Aadmi Party meeting going on in Morbi the previous day.
Charu, are you actually saying, no, let me address this head on. Charu, are you actually saying that a group of or bunch of people can get on a bridge, which is that old, and shake it and make 400 people fall into a river? Is that the argument?
So there were not supposed to be 400 people on that bridge, Anusha, and for that heads need to roll. There were supposed to be 100, maximum 150 people. There were no clear opening permissions from the government. That needs to be looked into. And like I said, I am not sparing anybody, nor is my government. We are going to make sure that people who are responsible for this tragedy, we cannot bring lives back. But people who are responsible for this tragedy need to be dealt with.
So before I bring in Bharat Bhai Sagatia, who's an eyewitness, actually I should bring Bharat Bhai first into the discussion. Bharat Bhai, उम्मीद करती हूँ आपको मेरी आवाज अब आ रही है?
आ रही है।
भरत भाई एक बात बताइए, ये एक इंटरनेट पे एक वीडियो है जो कई जगह देखा जा रहा है और जो लोग वहां के लोकल नहीं उनको तो पता नहीं होगा, लेकिन क्या ये आम बात थी कि लोग उस ब्रिज पर चढ़ते थे और उसे जोर से हिलाते थे? और क्या ये कहना सही है कि क्या 10-20 लोग उस ब्रिज को हिलाएंगे तो ब्रिज गिर जाएगा नीचे?
नहीं, ये सही बात है कि हमारा इसका नाम है झूलता पुल
जी,
मतलब झूला झूलने वाला पुल होता है और उसी में हम बचपन से उस पुल के ऊपर झूला खेलने के लिए जाते थे। ऐसे ब्रिज गिरता नहीं है, पर सही ये हुआ है कि ब्रिज की कैपेसिटी 100 से या 125 आदमी की कैपेसिटी थी
जी,
वो भी डिस्टेंस के साथ, और उसमें 400-500 लोगों को उसने भेज दिया जो प्राइवेट कंपनी और है अजंता कंपनी, और पैसा कमाने की लालच में उन लोगों ने 400-500 टिकट बेच के लोगों को सीधा भेज दिया और 500 लोगों का वेट झेलने के लिए पुल कैपेबल नहीं था, उसके कारण ये हादसा हुआ।
जी जी। एक दूसरी बात ये भी थी कि 26 तारीख को ये पुल खुला था और इसमें रिपेयर वर्क भी पूरा नहीं किया गया था। लोकल म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन से किसी तरीके का फिटनेस सर्टिफिकेट इनके पास नहीं था।
हाँ नहीं था। अब उसमें बात करता हूँ, इन लोगों ने जो पुल का रिनोवेशन किया था उसी में सिर्फ पेंट किया है, लकड़ियां बदलाई है, बाकी कुछ नहीं किया है। और 2 करोड़ का है और उस लोगों ने अपना बजट बताया कि 2 करोड़ में हमने रिनोवेशन किया है। नगर पालिका ने ना उसको सर्टिफिकेट दिया था कम्प्लीटली कि भाई पुल चलने के लिए लायक है, ना पुल चलाने के लिए नगर पालिका से उन लोगों ने मंजूरी लिया था। ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ था। और जाडेजा साहब जो हमारे चीफ ऑफिसर थे उनके साथ हमारे बात हुई तो उसने बोला कि हमारे पास कोई ऐसा एविडेंस आया नहीं। तो हमने बोला कि पर्सन का जिम्मेदारी क्या है कि 25-26 तारीख को पुल स्टार्ट हो गया कि बिना मंजूरी के साथ, तो आपने किया तो उन लोगों ने मुझसे कोई सवाल का जवाब नहीं किया। और दूसरी बात है कि भूपेंद्र पटेल और हमारा गृह मंत्री लोग आए थे, उसने बोला हमारे साथ में कि हमने कड़ी कार्रवाई करेंगे, पूरे SIT लगा दी गई है, जांच चालू कर दिया है। तो हमने उससे बात किया था उस टाइम पर कि भाई आपने जहाज बिठा दिया ठीक है, पर छोटी छोटी मछलियां पकड़ लोगे, बड़े बड़े मगरमच्छ तो छूट जाएंगे
जी।
ये तो बहुत सारे हमें जगह पे देखने को मिला है
जी।
फिर भी मैं बहन जी ये आपको बोलना चाहता हूँ कि इन लोगों ने धारा 304 लगाया है, जो गैर इरादत हत्या का जो मुकदमा उसके ऊपर दर्ज किया गया है, उसकी जगह पे 302 की कलम लगा के उसको मारने का पूरा प्लान बनाया था। ऐसी मेरी डिमांड है प्रशासन से, सरकार से और आपसे।
जी चारू, आपने भरत भाई की बात सुनी और भरत भाई ने भी अपने परिवार के एक सदस्य को खोया है। 9 लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया गया है और मैं अभी हिंदी में इसलिए बोल रही हूं ताकि भरत भाई को भी पूरी बात समझ में आए। 2 मैनेजर, 2 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, लगभग 3 सिक्योरिटी गार्ड और 2 लोग वो हैं जो शायद विंडो पे क्लर्क होते हैं। जो प्राइवेट कंपनी का मालिक है उसको अभी तक गिरफ्तार क्यों नहीं किया गया है? ये सवाल है जो भरत भाई भी जिसका जवाब जानना चाहते हैं।
नहीं, और मैं भी भरत भाई के लिए मैं हिंदी में ही बोलूंगी। पहले तो हाथ जोड़कर मेरी प्रार्थना और कंडोलेंसेस आपके परिवार, भरत भाई। कोई छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा, ये मैं आपको आश्वासन देती हूँ। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की तरफ से, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार की तरफ से, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री की तरफ से। तो जिस तरीके से आपको लगता है कि छोटे लोगों को पकड़ा गया है और बड़े लोगों को छोड़ दिया जाएगा, मैं आपकी बात से सहमत नहीं हूँ। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है अपनी सरकार में, अपने प्रशासन में, और मुझे मालूम है, हो सकता है एक आध दिन आगे पीछे होने से अभी आपको परेशानी हो रही हो, लेकिन इस पूरे मामले की तह तक पहुंचा जाएगा और हर एक इंसान जो इसमें गलत तरीके से इन्वॉल्व था, जिसने नहीं सोचा लोगों के बारे में, जिसने नहीं सोचा सेफ्टी के बारे में, दैट पर्सन विल बी बिहाइंड बार्स एंड डीलिंग विद द स्ट्रिक्टेस्ट पॉसिबल सेक्शंस लेविड अगेंस्ट।
302 आप जो बोल रहे हैं कि धारा लगनी चाहिए, मेरी भी उम्मीद है भरत भाई कि ऐसा एक समय आए इस देश में जब 304 ना लग के 302 लगे, लेकिन ऐसा कानून में होता नहीं है। के मनन हु इज अ सीनियर एडवोकेट, जी बोलिए
प्लान किया गया था ना, इतने 500 लोगों को जाने का मनाही है, जो कैपेसिटी नहीं है फिर भी भेजा जाता है। उसका मतलब तो ये हुआ कि मारने के लिए लोगों को भेजा है, तो 302 तो लगना ही चाहिए, मेरे हिसाब से लगना चाहिए। बाकी उसके हिसाब से लगे ना लगे वो मुझे पता नहीं।
आप प्राइवेट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर की बात कर रहे हैं?
आप प्राइवेट कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हो या उस जो संस्था से उसने जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया है 1936 तक का, उन लोगों के साथ।
जी लोकल म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जो लोग हैं, जो लोग पूरी तरीके से इन्वॉल्व थे इस पूरे ब्रिज को चलाने के लिए या इसकी देखरेख में, उनके बारे में बात हो रही है। मिस्टर के मनन, आई एम कमिंग टू यू। यू नो, इट्स ऑल ग्रेट दैट वी टॉक अबाउट अकाउंटेबिलिटी, वी टॉक अबाउट 304, we talk about arrests that the police have done, but there are various precedents in this country and not so great ones that whenever a tragedy of this nature unfolds, a man-made disaster, law has been incapable of dealing with it. Upahar is a case in point. Mr. Manan.
First of all, I pray that the departed souls rest in peace. So far as the contractor, this and that, even your channels with great respect will carry this news for few days. And please, I request you, don't let it in between, but please get it done to the end. End means until the people get the justice. Rest, so far as Bharat Bhai was telling 304, 302, as per law, my view is, though I have all sympathy, every respect for the departed souls, it will not even stand under section 304 IPC. Ultimately, it will come under the ambit of 304A IPC, which is a bailable one.
Yes.
Unfortunately, IPC requires drastic amendment even after the case of that accident. You remember that car accident in which few people were died in the night. I do not want to elaborate on the names of those people. They were also convicted for an offence under section 304, but ultimately what the Honorable High Court passed the order 304A. So the question is whether the persons were sent deliberately or negligently. My perception is those people were just sent in a greed to collect the money when the capacity of the bridge was not more than 100, 125 people. How 500-600 people were allowed to go on that bridge, which can't take the weight of such 600 people.
Mr. Manan, the most unfortunate part is that in our country, the duty of care or the tort of negligence, all of these aspects are not developed as much as they should be. And you're right in pointing out that IPC is not really equipped to deal with situations like this. And we have seen this happen earlier as well. Rohan Gupta, I also want you to come into the discussion. It's great that some of your party members have said that many people have lost their lives and no politics should be done on a matter like this. I agree with that. But there must be questions that should be raised by any responsible opposition parties. If you have them, please go ahead.
Absolutely, Anusha, and what Rahul ji has said, I completely agree that this is not the time to do politics. But at the same time, it's very important because this is horrific. Like, I don't have words. Like, I am from Gujarat. If you see the videos coming out from the family members of the people who have lost their loved ones, I have no words to express the grief. So, whatever we are discussing today, this is all post-mortem. But yes, I was really surprised to listen to what BJP spokesperson was saying. And I even still can't digest that she was saying that, okay, there were 8 people going on the bridge and shaking it, so that I think this is not the time to talk all nuisance. This is the time to please understand, ensure that people who are responsible, after this, they are taken to task. I'll give you one very important fact here. We have this New Year Day after Diwali. There is a New Year Day where all the people, because there are holidays, people go out with families and see the places. Now, this company which had taken this contract, if they have restarted the bridge without taking NOC of the local corporation, why it was allowed? And please understand, the bridge has continued like this for 4 days. 4 days, and after that these incidents had happened. So how can we say that action is taken? Still no action is taken against the government officer, local Nagar Palika officer who has not given NOC, and maybe local police officers who have allowed this bridge to be operated without any kind of NOC for 4-5 days. If NOC was asked, and without NOC, if they had stopped the entry of people on the bridge, this could have been avoided. So how can you say that government is not responsible in this? We don't want to indulge into politics, but that doesn't mean that the basic cause which is responsible for this kind of incident, you are ignoring it.
No. I think that's a fair point to make, that if there are local officials who at their level did not do their due diligence, and in fact worse, they were involved in some kind of corruption, then the police or the administration must crack upon them. Before I go to Prashant Gadavi, I once again want to go back to Bharat Bhai Sagatia. Bharat Bhai, मैं आपसे ये सवाल जानना चाहूंगी, अगर ये जो पूरा ब्रिज था, ये जो पुल था, 26 तारीख से खुला हुआ था और ये हादसा कल हुआ है, तो क्या पिछले 4 दिनों में पुलिस को, लोकल प्रशासन को ये पता नहीं था कि वहां 500 लोग इकट्ठे होने वाले हैं, क्योंकि छठ का महापर्व भी चल रहा है, तो उम्मीद भी यही थी कि वहां पर बहुत सारे लोग इकट्ठे होंगे?
हाँ, सबको पता था ब्रिज चालू हो गया है, ट्रैफिक बहुत ज्यादा था, पर किसी प्रशासन ने या नगर पालिका ने, कलेक्टर मामलेदार ने, किसी ने इसकी नोंद नहीं लिया है, ऐसे ही चलने दिया है सर।
जी, प्रशासन ने, नगर पालिका ने, किसी ने अपना काम नहीं किया और जैसा चल रहा था वैसा चलता रहा और इतना बड़ा हादसा हो गया। प्रशांत गदावी, आई एम कमिंग टू यू, आई एम टेकिंग इन अ व्यू फ्रॉम यू. The rescue and relief operations were done in the best possible manner. You have the Prime Minister himself who's taking stock of the situation. The government is doing as much as they can in terms of putting some kind of a bandage on the wound. But of course, the loss of life can never ever be fulfilled, or it can never be repaid. But is there really some kind of closure that we can give to man-made disasters like these? Because as Mr. Manan pointed out, legally, the precedents don't tell us a very good story. There is very little you can do, and most of these offences are bailable offences.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Okay. This is clear-cut mismanagement and negligence from the ecosystems, because yes, government is putting their best effort afterwards, means on the reaction mode. Once accident has happened, before that we need to understand the chronology of the entire event. This bridge is almost 100 years old bridge. It was, constructed by even Britishers. And I clearly say my grandfather used to sell out the tickets of the same bridge before this renovations at almost very less amount, and only with the capacity of 35% to 40%, not more than that at a one time. This was renovated and capacity has been extended up to 100 people. This bridge renovated during last 7 months. It was not officially opened. Officially, inauguration was not happened. Actually, on one sudden day, on the day of New Year, the owner of the company, Oreva, comes in, do inaugurations, just do a press conference. There is no other people are involved.
Prashant, how did they do it? I mean, if a bridge has been sealed, a particular area has been sealed because restoration and renovation work is going on, you can't reopen it without taking permission from the municipal authorities, or at least informing them. So to believe that the municipal authorities did not know that the bridge was being opened is something that's very difficult to believe.
So that is the main catch, Anuja, actually, how he can, how he dare to open up without asking permission. And now, even yesterday night only, people came to know that there is no quality certification, no quality check has been happened, no NOC has been given from local municipal bodies, and they have already opened up. Okay, opened up for their fun, enjoyment. They have created, because they were in the pressure that if code of conduct will impose very soon, then this may not open up or inaugurated. That's why under the pressure of code of conduct might be possibility that Oreva people or Oreva team has inaugurated.
What kind of pressure? What kind of pressure, Prashant?
Must be a political pressure, because it has been handover takeover process, plus Oreva has taken the contract at some amount, some margin, some money.
But that I believe, Prashant, in all fairness, that I believe is a lot of speculation, for the simple reason that if they did not have permission, any private company should not be allowed to become the government themselves. Charu, I want you to come in there. I think some pertinent points have been raised, and you understand law, so I'm sure you would know that without really the permission of the municipal authorities, if a particular infrastructure project, especially if it's for public consumption, if it is not officially opened by the municipal authorities, how dare a private company really open it?
Yes, and I agree with you, Anusha. And I also want to quote the statement of the Labour Minister of Gujarat. Very clearly, Brijesh ji has said that it is a very unfortunate tragedy. Everybody is shocked, but the government takes complete responsibility of it. And I think this is a wonderful thing for somebody to stay in a place of responsibility today instead of shirking of responsibility. So this gives us hope that the investigation is going to be free and fair, and it does not matter who's found to be linked to it. There will be a complete I'm so sorry. So the government will make sure that anybody who's found linked to this case, who's found to have whether criminal negligence or this was deliberately done, both of it should have strict liability. So we cannot say that it was not deliberate and it was done negligently. The liability should not be so strict. That being
Charu,
said,
there are two aspects of it which I want to discuss with you.
Of some laws in India.
Yeah. One of course is the registration of the FIR, arrest of the people. Let me just believe what the government is saying, that we will ensure that whoever is the powerful and the mighty, owner of whichever corporation, we will go after them, we'll arrest them. Let's wait and watch what happens on that front. I will not debate with you on that. But there's another aspect of it. None of this can really happen without the local administration being hand in gloves. Sometimes you are able to legally catch them. On most occasions, to catch this nature of corruption becomes very, very tricky. You and I know how difficult a system is at some point in time. Will there be some kind of special inquiry conducted, not legally, administratively, to look at the local municipal corporation, and who are these officers who are responsible?
Anusha, and I agree with you. If there are people in the government system which are hand in gloves, which knew that something untoward was happening, they should be pulled onto the same net and they should be dealt with very strictly as well. So not just the Labour Minister in Gujarat, the Home Minister of Gujarat, Harsh Sanghvi ji, has also formed an SIT recently. This SIT will get to the root of everything that has gone on over the last few days. They will ensure that nobody who's responsible goes scot-free. We will take personal responsibility, personal care, and this case will be monitored till everybody involved is satisfied.
भरत भाई, मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगी, और आज हम सब बैठ के टीवी पर सारी बातें कर रहे हैं, वकील हैं यहाँ पे, राजनीतिक दल के नेता हैं, पत्रकार बैठे हैं और हम सब चर्चा कर रहे हैं, मगर कल जब ये हादसा हुआ तो आप वहां पर थे, आपने देखा वहां पर क्या हुआ. आप हमें दोबारा बताएंगे, एंड आई एम सॉरी आई एम आस्किंग दिस टू यू अगेन, मगर आप हमें बताएंगे कि उन कुछ पलों में क्या हुआ, किस तरह से ये पूरा हादसा हुआ और आपने उस समय क्या देखा.
हाँ, उस टाइम पे मैं अपनी कंपनी से सोमानी सैनिटरी वेयर से मैं आ रहा था
जी, और
जब हमारा ब्रिज है, पाडापुर नाम है उसका, वहीं चल रहा था, तभी ट्रैफिक हमारा झूलता पुल पे बहुत ज्यादा था. उस टाइम पे हमको ट्रैफिक को देखने के लिए खड़े रह गए और हमने तो ये देखा कि भाई ट्रैफिक बहुत है, इसी तरह इंजॉय लेने की कोशिश कर रहा था. अचानक जो वो पुल अचानक गिर गया और लोग सब एक झटके में नीचे गिर गए और हमने वो हमारी नजर के सामने देखा है.
जी. आपको एक निजी क्षति भी पहुंची है, आपके भी कुछ परिवार के लोग थे वहां पर?
हाँ, मेरा भांजा है और मेरा भतीजा, वो 13 साल का बच्चा है, दोनों. जी.
जहां तक राहत और बचाव कार्य की बात है, कितना समय लगा था उसको शुरू होने में? लोकल प्रशासन से किस तरह की मदद मिली?
हाँ सर, उसी में मैं करीब 7:30 या 7:45 बजे पर मैं अपनी नदी पर गया था अपने बच्चे की बॉडी को लेने के ढूंढने के लिए. तभी हमारे लोकल लोग हैं जो मुस्लिम लोग हैं वो लोग अपनी नाव लेके वो पूरा बॉडियों को निकल रहा था। उसके बाद 2-3 एनडीआरएफ की टीम आई थी और करीब करीब 1 बजे के बाद 10-12 और टीम आई थी। उसके बाद मिलिट्री फोर्स भी आई थी, पुलिस प्रशासन भी आए थे, बाद में भूपेंद्र सिंह मुख्यमंत्री भी आए थे और हमारा गृह मंत्री भी आया था। तो उसने मैंने सवाल ये किया था।
भरत भाई, मैं आपके पास वापस आऊंगी। रोहन गुप्ता एंड मिस्टर के मनन, आई एम कमिंग to you, to both of you, and this is the question that I want to ask. That it's wonderful to theoretically talk about justice and to, bring accountability whenever an incident like this really happened. But Mr. Manan, how will this really translate? You said that media should follow it to a logical conclusion. We really want to, but it takes years. It takes years and sometimes decades for justice to be finally served in this country. And if precedents were to go by, sometimes justice is even not served at all. Mr. Manan.
You see that you remember Arushi's case.
Yes.
One of the channel took that case till the end. But anyway, you will also, I know, I'm confident. But at the same time as you were talking about the local administration, it's a very simple case. No need to go and form the SIT, this and that. It's a very simple case. In each and everything, for what purpose the local police is there, for what purpose is the SHO is there, why he was not preventing, who was the contractor, how he can allow the people like this, how the municipal committee people allowed the contractor to do all this. And few people are there whose head should be rolled out, and in fact it will not take much time to fix the responsibility of each and every person who is responsible for this heinous crime, whether it is a negligent or deliberate, whatever it will be, you can call it. But at the end we can say lot of lives have gone without any reason, rhyme, and they were innocent people. They have not gone for pleasure, and if they have gone for pleasure, but they lost their lives without any
reason. Children, women who were there to celebrate. I mean, it's very, very unfortunate.
You see, these in Hindi, ये बेदर्द नकाम लोग जो जितने भी हैं ना, इनको नोच लेना चाहिए लॉ को, इनको नोच लेना चाहिए।
नहीं, नहीं, मनन साहब, इसीलिए आपसे मैंने सवाल किया। लेकिन क्या कानून में ऐसी कोई धाराएं हैं जिनमें इनको दबोचा जा सकता है? क्योंकि आपने खुद ही कहा आईपीसी में तो ऐसे कोई प्रोविजंस ही नहीं है।
Ma'am, that is why I said that our laws requires drastic changes, modification, amendments. We are following the IPC, CRPC, Indian Evidence Act, which were enacted by the English people, British people. We don't have the brains to amend it as per the prevailing
circumstances. Sir, we have seen so many tragedies, and I hope that we learn our lessons and we amend the law. We need that. You pointed out to a case, road accident that had happened. The Upahar tragedy is an example. There are multiple man-made disasters that have happened. The Supreme Court itself has said that we need better laws to deal with all of this. I'm going to Rohan Gupta, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. Rohan, I asked, Bharat Bhai as well earlier, and I'm asking this to you again. The Prime Minister has taken stock of the situation. He's going to visit the site tomorrow. Rescue and relief operation, compensation, everything has been given. Good that all of that work has been done. What is it that as a responsible opposition you expect from the government of the day going forward?
Yeah, Anusha, everything, whatever is happening now cannot bring back the people who have lost their loved ones. What is important here is that such kind of incidents, it is not one person or one side which is responsible. Like this kind of incidents happen when there is series of failures. So according to me, the first failure which is there is when any private company, they started the bridge without permission and it continued for 4 days. Obviously, local police was there, collector office was there, local corporations there. How they allowed this bridge to operate for 4 days during the festival time when people go out with families to see the places. Number one. Number two, after that, how they were allowed to collect the tickets. 17 rupees the tickets were sold and more than 500 tickets were sold at particular point of time. So these are the things.
Rohan, the most unfortunate part is that to earn 17 rupees from one person, there is a private company which decided to risk the life of over 400 people.
Give me 30 seconds,
Look at the death count. I'm very sorry. I'm short of time, Rohan, but I do get the point that you're trying to make. Charu Pragya, Rohan Gupta, KK Manan, Prashant and Bharat Bhai Sagati, I thank you all for joining us on the show. The entire purpose is to ensure that whoever is responsible for this entire man-made disaster is brought to justice. The families who are suffering, who have lost their loved ones, do not lose hope and faith in the system. We're slipping into a very short break, but coming up next on the other side, the Uniform Civil Code versus the Sharia debate.